June 2014, Westfield, New Jersey. A quiet suburban street. Old trees arch over the road like cathedral beams. Manicured hedges, brick mailboxes, security signs staked into pristine lawns. The kind of neighborhood where children ride bikes without helmets, where people wave from driveways, where crime feels theoretical. A family had just purchased 657 Boulevard. 6 bedrooms, nearly 4,000 square feet, built in 1905. A house with history, a house with character, a house they believed would be their forever home. They hadn't even moved in fully. Painters were still working, boxes still stacked in corners, mortgage papers barely dry. Then the letter arrived. Dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard. Allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. The house has been the subject of my family for decades now. And as it approaches its 110th birthday, I have been put in charge of watching it. Watching, not living in, not maintaining, watching. And that single word would unravel everything. Derek and Maria Broaddus were not reckless buyers. They were cautious, successful, educated. Derek worked in insurance. Maria had deep family ties to Westfield. They wanted stability, community, safety for their 3 children. They stretched financially to afford 657 Boulevard. This was not just a house, it was a symbol of upward mobility, of achievement. But even in the first letter, something felt wrong. The tone was too intimate, too aware. I see you have brought young blood into the house. Young blood. Not children, not family. Young blood. How many are there? I have been watching you. The letter asked if the children played in the basement. It asked if they knew what was inside the walls. Inside the walls. That phrase would echo for months. The Broaddus family did not panic immediately. They contacted police. Westfield detectives advised caution. Keep it quiet. Don't alert neighbors. Install cameras. But days later, another letter arrived. Why are you here? I will find out. The tone had changed, the warmth gone, now territorial, accusatory. You have changed the house and it cries for the past. The writer referenced construction, mentioned contractors, observed renovation details. That meant visibility. That meant proximity. Someone nearby. Someone close enough to monitor daily activity. And then came the third letter. To the vile and spiteful Derek and his wench of a wife, Maria. The hostility was no longer subtle. The watcher claimed to know the children's names. How long until they are mine? Not metaphorical, not playful, possessive. The Broaddus family never fully moved in. They were afraid. Afraid to let their children sleep in their own bedrooms. Afraid to sit in the backyard. Afraid of the basement. Every shadow in the trees became suspicious. Every passing car lingered too long. The watcher never broke in, never vandalized, never approached physically. The weapon was anticipation. And anticipation is powerful because it leaves the imagination to fill the gaps. The family installed cameras, but the letters kept coming. No footage captured the sender. No neighbor saw anyone at the mailbox, which meant one of 2 things. The watcher was careful, or the watcher was someone no one would question. Police interviewed neighbors, reviewed former owners, examined property records. The previous family had lived there for 23 years. They received a single odd letter before selling, but nothing threatening. DNA from the envelope revealed female genetic material, but no match in criminal databases. Handwriting analysis? Inconclusive. No fingerprints of value. No camera footage. Investigators even considered, was this a hoax? Did the Broaddus family fabricate it? But why? They had invested heavily. They had no insurance windfall, only financial loss. Because the house became impossible to sell. No buyer wanted it, not after the letters were public. When the story leaked to media, Westfield changed. Neighbors who once waved now avoided eye contact. Families accused each other quietly. Rumors spread. One neighbor was scrutinized heavily. An older man, eccentric, lived with his mother, but no evidence tied him definitively to the letters. Others speculated about jealous residents, developers angry at renovations, even bored teenagers. But the language of the letters was not juvenile. It was calculated, structured, literary. The letters rarely targeted the parents directly. They targeted the children, the house, the lineage. The house needs young blood. That phrase disturbed investigators deeply because it suggested mythology, a fixation. Was the watcher obsessed with ownership or with narrative? Some theorized this was less about stalking and more about performance. An anonymous author crafting fear. But performance requires audience, and the Broaddus family was trapped in that role. Years passed. The family never comfortably lived there. Legal battles over zoning, attempts to subdivide the property denied. Eventually, they sold the house at a loss, hundreds of thousands below purchase price. The watcher achieved something extraordinary without physical violence. He displaced a family, shattered their sense of safety, and walked away unidentified. This case disturbs people because it violates expectation. There was no break-in, no blood, no confrontation. Just letters, words, ink. But words can invade space. They can redefine safety. And in suburban America, where privacy is prized, the idea of being watched is deeply unsettling. The watcher understood that. No arrest, no confession, no confirmed suspect. The house still stands. New owners moved in. No confirmed letters since. But somewhere, someone once believed they were assigned to watch it. And the most unsettling possibility? The watcher may not have needed to win. He only needed to be believed. And for a time, he was. If this case unsettled you, subscribe to the Cold Files. We don't chase spectacle. We examine documented fear. In the comments, tell me, was this a neighbor, an inside hoax, or something else entirely? Respectful debate only, because sometimes the most disturbing crimes never touch you physically.